The Chiefs have to bounce back with the AFC West title on the line at a tough game up in Seattle. I got the game plan for you coming right here. Well, it's been a long week, and right now we're getting ready for this Christmas holiday, and I put this video up because I want to make sure that you guys get it before this critical game against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to do a post-game live like I usually do. It will be from a new location, so stay tuned for that. But today, while I'm traveling, I just wanted to get this out there for you guys, and it's going to be a little bit different. This is not your typical week because this was a meltdown that the Chiefs brought upon themselves. They lost this game more than they won it last week. And that fact kind of filters the whole thing about how you prepare for this next contest. Very much so, a critical game against a foe in the Seattle Seahawks that is really, really stout in some ways that can hurt this team quite a bit. So we're going to get to the points. But first, we got to take a look back at what has to change going into this game, what the defense in particular has to change. And there was a lot of commentary on it. A lot of folks stepping up and talking about what went wrong, how it has to be, and how they can get through this particular portion of the season. I want to talk about what they had to say, and thanks to the Chiefs PR department, there's some clips here that I'm going to show you. But want to say welcome back to all of you followers. I appreciate all the subs that you guys have been doing lately. And if you're new to the channel, this is me going rogue. I'm Ryan. My channel, my takes on the NFL, the Chiefs, the AFC West, pretty much everything. It'll be draft come that part of the year as well. But if you like what you're seeing, hit that subscription and the notification. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And leave your comment below to get into the mix around here. Now, what the players all acknowledge is at the key of that last loss is communication. And that's particularly evident in a couple of different ways. If you missed the film room video that I did a couple days ago, go check that out. Specifically looked at what Eric Berry had to do in a couple of situations with one of the DBs to try and get everything straightened out so they're prepared to defend themselves. And it didn't work out. At the end of the day, without Eric Berry on that field, and we're going to talk more about him here later, that was a problem. In light of that, when the communication breaks down and you see that on film, it's a tough takeaway for these professional athletes. One in particular, another guy that was involved in that two-point conversion that cost them the game, Kendall Fuller had some interesting things to say right here.
Just miscommunication, man. We just got to cover our pieces at the end of the day. And that's something that we got to work on, prepare for, and get better at, and make sure it don't happen again.
You guys have been so good at two-point conversions throughout this part of the season. Just how strange is it to have a miscommunication in such a moment where you guys have been successful?
I mean, that's just the thing of being a DB. You know, you got to be sharp every single play. One play can cost you a game, playing in the secondary, and we got to understand that. And just
now, certainly communication was on display for that particular play, and it's got to get corrected. I think the presence of Eric Berry will help that going forward, but it's got to get to the point where everybody can communicate freely, openly, and get it done, because it's not just them. This is a continuing theme that we've heard, quite honestly, for the bulk of the season, and it's still being repeated. Some of the new guys are going to be in a position to affect some of that change. Fuller being one. Obviously, Eric Berry is an old hand around here, and his steady hand will bring some steadiness to this team. But another player that I singled out in the film room that I thought played very well, had a chance to give up some plays, but ended up making some good ones as well and saving himself. A guy that's really been learning on the job all season in Dorian ODaniel. DOD had some interesting comments as well, where he recognizes what has to go forward and where they are mentally in order to continue against these Seahawks.
Adversity. When adversity hits, who are you going to be? And I mean, that's the message of football and life, really. Adversity, who you're going to be whenever it happens to you. So, I mean, I think we have a great group of guys that's going to bounce back from this. And, I mean, it was amazing, you know, just that, the energy, you know, you can't make it up, you can't explain it. His communication out there, just his confidence and swagger. I mean, I could go on, but, I mean, what's understood don't got to be explained. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we 110% still are in control of our own destiny. And I think us knowing that and having that mindset is definitely a positive outlook to have.
And finally, In the base defense, Reggie Ragland is the center of this defense, and he's going to have a big day. We're going to talk about the reasons why here in a couple of minutes. Reggie Ragland's got a big contest coming up, but he also is in a position that he's growing into a leadership role. He's got to improve his play, but he's in a position to really look at this defensive unit as a whole and the team as a whole and see how they come along. He is very cognizant of what has to happen in terms of not when the going is easy and you're winning ball games, but what happens when you lose.
We got to finish. We beat ourselves and we didn't finish. Communication, you know, but got to finish. You got to see it. So, but I'm gonna ride with my guys to the end, regardless. We started as a team. We're gonna finish as a team, man. And I love this team, regardless of what happens. So we're a team. We're a team. So teams gonna win and lose together. We've been winning the whole year. It's easy to win, but how you gonna be when you lose? And I feel like these guys are gonna be ready to come back and bounce back next week.
I think that's a good sign for another young player in Reggie Ragland. A bunch of young guys here that we talked about that are going to be in a position to help this team along, and they've got to do it fairly quickly. This is a big contest. Clearly, everything that we talked about already is key to what needs to happen for this defense. They are really on the spot here. And when we look at the 4 keys, they are first and foremost up there too, because they have quite the battle coming against Chris Carson and the Seahawks. So number one, they have to play more base defense, they have to mix it around, and they have to play sound gap assignment football. And that includes all the inside linebackers, whether it's ODaniel or Hitchens or Ragland, as well as the front. Derek Notty's got to play more discipline, no more jumping off sides and getting penalties. You have to play your gaps against the Seahawks run game because they are very, very aggressive and very good at what they do. Now, they're down a guard or two, but depending on game time, they may be down 2 as well. But this Chris Carson guy, you don't want to take him for granted. They have a stable of backs behind him that give him a little bit relief, but he is the bell cow, and you have to attack Chris Carson in the run game. Number 2, on the offensive side of the ball, control your game. Don't let the defense put you in situations where you feel like you have to throw or you have to do something dictated by the defense. That's what happened down the stretch. There wasn't enough efficiency out of the offense early. They got themselves backed in to a situation that that last drive, inside of 4 minutes, had a tackle for loss on the first down, and it put them in a position where they felt they had to throw. You can't let that happen again. It's plain and simple. They have to control their own destiny. They have to flip a switch. I want to see Patrick Mahomes play with a little bit more composure. I want to see that offensive line buckle down. There is a shot that they get Cam Irving back, although we don't have confirmation at the time that I'm recording this, so keep an eye out for the starting lineup. But they have to grind it out. And I think what you saw from the backs, Williams and Williams, means that they have to grind it out in both ways. They have to be very, very mature about some balance instead of just 10 carries for your starter last week. And they have to be able to attack where the Seahawks are weak. And I think I'm just going to wrap it up at point number 3 because it's really important, and it's a little bit more of a global take here. They have to run where they're weak, but they have to attack in the air where they're weak as well. The Seahawks might have McDougald out. He's a guy that you have to understand where he is because he's the best player in their secondary right now. There are opportunities. If the offensive line can do their job, you can run with some balance, you will have your shots downfield. And if the offense is back on track, hopefully Tyreek Hill is back and healthy. Looks like he's moving fairly well in practice, but game speed is game speed. They have to get back on their track and start executing the way that they have to. This is a game that's going to be critical. This is a team that they really shouldn't sneak up on them, but you can call it sneaking up on them. Because if they let it go, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And the thing about this team this year that we've seen the last 6 weeks is trouble is what they bring themselves in penalties, in lack of focus on offense, and breakdowns in communication and assignments on defense. All these things go up together to get them to a point where they have to turn the corner. Things are only going to get tougher from here. Yes, their last week rival, December 30th in Arrowhead, is going to be the Raiders, and that should not be much of a matchup. I will be there. Hope you guys will be too. But I'm talking longer term. You get past these Seahawks, you still have major matchups coming. It's playoff time. You have to get on the right page now and not expect to make magic when you get to the playoffs, especially if you do secure the first round bye and make it to the divisional round before you play again. Yes, there's time to heal up and plan, but you also have to gain that composure. I want to see them come out, be aggressive, be attacking, and take this game to the Seahawks. I think they can pull it out. If you want to hear my prediction, check out the Locked On Chiefs podcast. I'm going to leave it at that for today. I'll have the post game, like I said, from a new location. Thanks for watching today, and I'll talk to you then.